and subtracting decimals. How important is that in life?
Very.
How come?
Because money.
Taxes, which happens to be money. If you can't deal with money, folks, you're lost in this world. And money is based on decimals. We've already talked about this. It's based on decimals. Had one person first period could not tell the difference between 9.0 and 90 decimal. And I told him, come work for me, because I'm supposed to owe you $90, but since you don't understand decimals, I'm just going to pay you $9. That would make me mad. But if you don't understand decimals, you won't know whether you're getting cheated by your employer, right? And your check's wrong. Your paycheck. So decimals are pretty stinking important. Pretty stinking important. All right. Add and subtract decimals. Our first example is right over there. We're going to be doing it as we do the steps, and then you'll see, well, this is fast. We'll go. Technically, this is a review of last year, y'all. Y'all have already covered adding and subtracting decimals with the 5th grade. Shake your head like this. All right. But we're going to learn it my way. Maybe my way is different. Maybe my way is the same as their way. I don't know. But here we go. How to. How to. Here we go. Stack the decimals. Stack the decimals. Well, does it say anything about the digits? No. It talks, step 1 is just the decimals, Ron. So I come over here. I see this is a problem with 2 decimals. So I'm going to stack those bad boys. There you go. Stack them up. So, now that I've stacked the decimals, I bet number 2 has to do with the what? The digits. There we go. How about we put what Mr. Colton said? Line up the digits by PV. Of course, what's PV?
Place value.
Place value. So we're going to line up the digits by the PV, which is very simple. It sounds hard. It sounds difficult. When all you do is there's a 5 on the left side in our first one, and there's a 4 on the right side. In the second number, on the second decimal, there's a 6 on the left and a 5 on the right. Now, I'm making this as simple as I can make it. Some of y'all are going, oh, and that's okay. It's all right. At least, thank goodness, today's work's easy, right? So don't complain. I can make it hard. All right. Step 3. Fill in any empty PVs with what, y'all? With zeros. Now in this one, our first example, everything's filled in. I've got numbers on top of numbers. There's no empty PVs. But I got to have that in there just in case I come across one that has some empty spots. Alrighty? Alrighty. Alright. This is an add problem, so I put my add sign in my bar. And now it looks like elementary, first grade, stacked up adding problem. Next step, add or subtract depending on what the problem is. In other words, do the work. In other words, do the work. Let's do the work. Do the work. This is a plus problem, an add problem, so 4 plus 5, 9, 5 plus 6, 11. There's no more numbers to carry, so I just go ahead and write the 11. Still got one step. I bet it had something to do with the decimal. Decimal goes straight down. Decimal goes straight down. Phew. There we go. Like I said, this is a review. You're a pretty smart bunch. I'll be pretty easy. Now that we got it all written, we ought to fly. Right? Everybody ready to fly? Here we go. Stack the decimals. It's a 2 decimal problem, so I got 2 right there. I got a 1 and a 9, a 6 and a 4 on the right. The second one has a 9, then a 1, and a 5. I got an empty place value, so let's fill in a 0. This is a plus problem, and do the work. 4 plus 0.
4.
6 plus 5. 11. Put down the 1, carry a 1. Boy, this is elementary, isn't it? 1 plus 1?
2.
1 plus 1 is not 11. 1 plus 1?
2.
Plus 9.
11.
11. Put down 1, carry 1. 1 and 9.
10.
Plus 1.
11.
No more numbers, so we write down the 11. Drop it on the floor.
Bring it straight down.
Bring it straight down. Drop it on the floor. Colton, what do you mean, man? I know what you mean. I'm just playing with you. Hard stuff. Hard stuff. Let's do some more. Let's make sure we got every set. Let's do some more. Over here. 28 plus 0.625. I got 1 decimal. So I stack 1 decimal. 28 doesn't have a decimal, y'all.
You can have a decimal.
Now, wait a minute. 28 does not have a decimal.
It does.
So you just put 28.
I don't see it.
It's
They're
there.
always decimals, so you just put 28 plus the decimal.
Every number has a
Decimal.
It might be invisible, Kasparized. Please don't forget that point. Now, we're not dealing with fractions. Of course, a fraction does not have a decimal. A fraction is a decimal in a different form. But I'm talking about a whole number. Any whole number has a decimal in it. I don't care how big it is or how small that number is, it has a decimal. Where is old Casper decimal?
At the end.
Which way's his end?
The right.
To the right of the last digit. Boom, right there. So yes, I do have 2 decimals in here. One of them just was invisible. Here we go. An 8 and a 2.
A
A 0, a 6, 2, 5. You think it's important to keep things lined up?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You slide a decimal over the wrong way, we're about to have some trouble, huh? Right?
But
There you go. Thank you, sir. All right. Don't want to look at the sheet dog. Don't want to actually see your eyeball. Here we go. So it looks like I got to do this and do this and do this. Now I'm ready to go. 0, 5. 0, 2. 0, 6. 8, 0. 2, nothing. 2. Decimal straight down. Bingo, bango, bongo. Now, class, I know. Ooh, hold down. I do know that in life you have a calculator.
yes.
And you can just punch it in there and the calculator lines up the decimals for you, doesn't it? Right? But, folks, do not rely on electronics all the time, please. Alrighty? You wouldn't believe how many times I've gone into a fast food joint and their computers are down, which means their cash registers are down, but yet everything else is working. Thus, they keep selling
Food.
food. And they keep taking my money. And you wouldn't believe how many times the people behind the counter, without that computer cash register telling them how to make change, they can't do it. They can't take $20 and subtract $18.79 from there, which is lining up the decimals and subtracting, right?
Right.
They cannot make change because they've relied on electronics. Sometimes electronics fail you, okay? So you need to know what the electronics are doing. That's why we do this, okay? I know some of y'all, I'm just using a calculator. Well, that's fine until your calculator breaks and you don't have nothing else, okay? You just got to be prepared. Don't rely, let's use this. Let's don't let this waste away, okay? What time we got going, brother?
11:05.
Oh, we're doing good. Here we go. What's wrong, Brother Ron?
Well, that's kind of strange because
I know I'm strange.
we know that thing with the cash register and they can't do it because probably when most of those people were kids, they didn't have so good technology.
You're right. I didn't. Because I'm old. What am I doing here?
Subtracting.
No, I'm not. Line up the decimals now. Pardon me. I stack the decimals. Now line up the digits. A 7 and a 1 and a 4 and a 6 and a 6 and a 7 and a 9. And this is a subtract problem. Now, folks, you better make sure the larger number is on top, or it'll sure look funky when you try to do some subtraction. All right, 6 minus 9.
You can't do it.
15. Someone added. Oh, it's minus, brother. 6 minus 9. Can't do it. I gotta borrow. Borrow from the
Plausible.
3. Writing a 1. A 16 minus 9.
What's plausible?
You forgot your cash.
7.
7. 3 minus 7. So I gotta come over there and borrow to there. 13 minus 7. 6. 6 minus 6. 1 minus nothing. Decimal. Straight down. Bingo. Subtraction's the same way. You just gotta be careful when you borrow. Alright? 219.6 minus 12.024. Stack the decimal. A 9, 1, and a 2, and a 6. A 2, a 1, an 0, 2, 4. It is a minus problem. Beat it up, beat it up. 0 minus 4.
Impossible.
Can't do it. If you ain't got nothing in that hand, you can't take 4 from it. So I got to put something in there, and I can't borrow from that because it's still nothing there. So I go all the way to 6. Borrow it's now 5. Put my borrow there. I'm still not where I need to be. Borrow again. 9. Now I'm where I need to be. This is all review. I'm going pretty fast, but it should be a review for us, right? 10 minus 4. 9 minus 2. 5 minus 0. Man, one person's helping me here. What's the deal now? The only person who can't talk is Stephen because he's got the camera. The rest of y'all poor Colton doing all
Half
the
a
work.
minute left.
7.
0.
0. 2. 2.